power!
Way back in the day of the 3DS, BoxBoy was one of those surprise delights, and it was developed by the amazing people at HAL Laboratory, the same people behind Kirby. Now, who would have thought that a tiny black and white box could steal your heart? I mean, just look at him, he doesn't look all that amazing. Some people call him a block of tofu. But as I played the game, I realized just how amazing QB really was. Now, the last game in the series was called Bye Bye BoxBoy, and the name alone really kind of freaked me out. Was this the end of BoxBoy? Did we need to say goodbye? Well, it turned out it wasn't saying goodbye to BoxBoy, but BoxBoy was saying goodbye to the 3DS. Enter BoxBoy and BoxGirl, the Nintendo Switch exclusive puzzler that has stolen my heart. And this time it's not just QB, he's brought some friends along for the ride too. Now, for those of you who've never played a BoxBoy game before, it stars a tiny box named QB. Now, I know QB might look simple, but he is so far away from that. Now, QB has this ability to create boxes out of his own body that lets him cross gaps, hit switches, and defend himself from lasers, and really so much more. In the single-player mode, called the Tale for One, you can freely switch between QB or his friend QC while traveling across 16 different worlds. Now, early on in this game, the puzzles are simple. Now, this is so you can learn different mechanics of the game. But late in the game, some unique skills are introduced, like the ability to send your boxes flying straight forward, allowing you to hit different obstacles, and you even have the option of ground pounding your boxes into the ground. Now, next up is one of the biggest additions to BoxBoy plus BoxGirl, and that's the ability to play co-op with a friend. This feature is brand new to the series, and you can play it right away in the game's second mode called A Tale for Two. One player controls QB while the other player controls QC. Each character gets their own set of boxes to work with, making the puzzles even better. Now, each of the levels in A Tale for Two are clearly designed to accommodate two players, so you're definitely going to need to work together using both set of boxes as well as a bit of creativity to make it to the end. Now, if you have nobody to play with, that's not a problem. In A Tale for Two, you don't have to do it in co-op mode. You can actually switch between playing as QB and QC on your own. It's not as fun, but it's definitely an option if you want it. Now, the next part is pretty great. After you complete either one of the story modes, you unlock a third option of playing. It's called A Tall Tale, which allows you to play as Cutie, QB's bigger, taller, rectangular friend. This new play option may have been my most anticipated feature in BoxBoy and BoxGirl, and it really adds some interesting new mechanics to the game. Cutie's unique shape allows for some interesting puzzle solving since you can switch between standing tall or laying flat, and the boxes Cutie generates will match his current orientation, while horizontal, Cutie can also hang off edges without having to spawn an extra box, allowing him to have an extra bit of reach if he needs it. Now, one of the most entertaining bits of BoxBoy has always been the costumes. In the early games, costumes granted QB powers like higher jumping or a faster walking speed. This time around, however, it seems like costumes don't provide any bonuses, but it's still fun to dress up QB and QC. Costumes range from simple things like cat ears to a colorful kimono. You can obtain pieces of costumes by going to the shop and trading medals you collect by completing levels. The items of clothing you get are completely random and are split up into 4 categories: head, eyes, mouth, and body. Even Cutie gets in on the fun too, letting you apply all of the same costumes to the tall guy, most of them stretching out to fit his proportions. Now, in conclusion, BoxBoy and BoxGirl is nearly everything I could have asked for when it comes to bringing the series to the Switch. A brand new co-op mode that fits the console perfectly, a campaign that lets you play as Cutie, the costumes are loads of fun, and above all, the puzzles are challenging and as fun as ever. QB couldn't have asked for a grander debut on the Nintendo Switch, and personally, I can't wait to see what comes next. Nintendo Wire highly recommends this game for newcomers to the series and veterans as well.